So how it works is you will order as normal in Agency Express, so nothing's changed with that. The deadlines will still apply, and you can order up to, an order can be edited up to 3 business days or until the order shows release status in the order management in Agency Express. If you want to add, adjust, or delete an item on that order, and that pencil is available, and I'll show you that in a minute, in the order management, then you're free to do so. If an item is in the release status, then it is recommended. So if you have an order that is in that release status, then there is a recommendation to either add that item to a next order that you may have or pick up, or you can submit a help desk ticket and ask to be expedited, but please keep in mind there could be charges that are applied for any expedited request. So thought we could just get right into it and show you through it. And then if you have any questions, please feel free. I have the chat feature on. So if there's something that you have a question on, or if you want to raise your hand, it's a little different for me to visually see as it is for you guys. So the chat would be great. And if anybody from the food bank is online and they see something come through as a chat, if they could help me just to make sure I catch everything, I would greatly appreciate that. So here we're going to log into Agency Zone. I'm sorry, Agency Express, just like you would normally. You'll get to the welcome page, and I'm not going to go through placing an order because you all know how to do that. What really the goal of today is to show you how to edit an order that has already been placed. And so you'll see up here on the ribbon here, there is under order options, it says order management. And this is where you would also go to review any of your orders that are pending or in whatever status, so you can look at those ahead of time. So you may have seen this little pencil and wondered what that was about. So that is an editing feature. So if you want to edit an order, then you would just click that pencil. So this is how you would do that to edit any orders that you have. And of course, it'll ask you, are you sure that you want to edit this order? And you're the approval. So it looks just like as it would when you're placing your order as normal. And it's really that easy that you can go and edit that item, just changing it. Or if you need to add an item, you go through the same process. So for this item, I'm going to change the quantity to 3 from 2 to 3. I would do the same function. Let's update my cart. And if that was the only thing I wanted to complete, then I could submit it. But if there's something I want to add to the cart, then it's the same thing. You go continue shopping. And this is where you would get access to your shopping list. And you could add an item like you would normally. Add it to your cart. It's added. And you go through the same process. Go to checkout. And as long as you don't change the date and time, which was when you placed your order, then nothing else will change within this order other than the edits that you made. So you don't have to change the delivery date and time. Now you can if you need to, but for adding an item or editing an item, you don't need to change any of that. And that will hold your place in line, takes you out of line, puts your stuff in, puts you right back into the same spot. So once you're satisfied with everything you've placed an order for, then you would simply just go back the same process as you do when you place your order like regular. Well, let's see. Very interesting. So this order, which is an odd one, we're gonna choose a date and time because your same days still apply. The 3 days processing, and this was an existing order, so there may have been, I can't tell you why. It was allowed me to edit it. Sorry, choose a time. And then you'll see it successful. And then you'll see it in the state of the status as new order. So if you originally had the order and it was in sent to the food bank or acknowledged status, then as long as that pencil is available, you can edit that order. So that is the demo. It's that easy to make those adjustments. I can open up the floor to answer any questions that you may have. Let's see, there's a chat. If an order is released early, a day or two before the ordering deadline by NTFB, will there be a $250 fee applied for adding additional items? So that's a good question. Let's see who's on that can answer it. So typically, as long as it falls within the 3-day business day processing time. So if they submit it 2 days before the ordering deadline, then you probably need to submit a service ticket through the help desk. But I wouldn't think that would have an ordering charge because it doesn't fall within the deadline.
The way we kind of easily kind of say, kind of talk through it, Damaris, is basically if you've lost the ability to edit your own order, that is subject to potentially incurring an expedited fee.
So if an order is released by us, the food bank, 2 days before the ordering deadline, then they would have to pay a charge?
Yeah, if it's no longer in a status within, which that one that you just did was really interesting. Because usually it shouldn't be editable at this point. So thanks for picking that one.
Well, this isn't going live till November 1st. So there may be some still features that are not functioning as it. So that might be the reason.
Right. So any order that falls outside of our normal ordering windows are subject to an expedited fee, regardless of whether it's a new order that's placed outside the window or an edited order within that's outside that window. So orders placed or edited outside the normal ordering window are subject to a fee.
Right. Absolutely. Understand that. Did that answer your question, Martha?
What's that?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Well, okay. Twice in the last few months, one of our orders has been released like 2 days earlier than what our ordering deadline is. And so we placed an extra order because of that. I mean, that was the only reason that we placed a second order. And the reason that we were given both times was that there was something that wasn't going to be in stock anymore or something, and they had to release it early.
Yeah, any time that we act in a way that violates, we're not going to charge you a fee that's on us because of our changes in process or protocol. We should not be charging you a fee for that. And I think I cut you off, Allison. I believe you were going to chime in. I'll be quiet.
I was going to say the same thing. It sounds like, if I just to ensure that we all are understanding the situation, had that not been released, Martha, you would have had 2 more days within our standard process to change or create a new order for that delivery day.
That's correct.
And for some reason, we internally had a reason that we felt we needed to release that order to make some internal changes, likely due to inventory. And because of that, you no longer could make any changes to your order.
That's correct.
Okay, which resulted in you creating a new order.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate what Kim said, because we we didn't even, like, we could not support our own standard process for whatever internal reason, you should not be charged. You should not be charged for that. If so, because you should have been able to, as I understand the situation, you should have still been able to update your order. It sounds like 2 more days, but we
Yes.
had a reason that prevented that. So you should not be charged for that.
Okay, and that was my opinion, but I didn't know if y'all would honor that or not. But I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
I really thought you would, because you guys are always open and upfront. Y'all
But
are
I'd love
y'all
to know more about
reasonable.
that. The reason that because we're really trying to understand, because especially since now we're going to single order,
Right.
and we don't want additional new orders for that same delivery day. Maybe, we'd love to know internally, follow up on why that happened, right?
Okay.
Because we want to minimize those situations internally, because that's going to prevent us from having single orders in some situations.
Right. If it happens again, I will follow through with which one of y'all?
Just, I would say a help desk ticket,
Help
just
desk
just
ticket.
for
Okay.
just a pure, like, no action needed, just for the information, for your
Okay.
information that's happened. And then we do have our help desk specialists on the phone, and Erica and Robin, and I would just appreciate
Right.
it
I
you
don't
forwarding
believe
that.
that I did a help desk ticket on either one of those. There was a third one that we had to order that was because, well, it was the same order number. There was a 1 and a 2 because the warehouse didn't pull all of our stuff, and they found it and did a second ticket to pull the rest of the stuff. So that was a different situation. And that one I did do a help ticket on, but the other 2 I didn't.
Okay.
I don't think. I'll look back through my records, and if I did, I will follow up on it again, so
Thank
that
you.
you all know what it was.
So yes, and so to Erica and Robin, that's just internal, and that's just for us as key learnings. We need to understand more and more what our business, we have to define our business process for when that happens. So thank you for that, Martha.
That's a good.
Well, thank you. And you know what? Odd things happen everywhere.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I just want to add, I think it in the PDF, it does have some really great FAQs. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just did want to touch on, there could be some questions that you may have if there's, you've edited an order and an item is not accepted, what could have had happened to that. And so some of that time there are reasonable explanations for that. It isn't because the item, because of the single ordering, it would be due to other reasons. And some of those other reasons may be that that item expires by the time that you do get to process your order. It could be, I'm trying to see where this, oops, sorry.
Damaris, it's typically quality, right?
Right, so yeah.
It's typically something has happened since the time you originally ordered it and your quantity was accepted. And then potentially if you added let's just say you edited your order, and when you get the acknowledgement on the edited order, you find that your original accepted quantity has changed. Typically it would be due to something has happened that could be, best case scenario, or most common scenario would probably be quality. So to Damaris's point, maybe there was something that was perishable that we realized is, not something that we want to distribute. Could be some cases that were on the inside of a pallet, and once we broke that pallet up, we saw, oh, we don't have as many as we thought we originally did in inventory, because some of the cases were not, again, maybe they were crushed or they were damaged in transit. So there may be valid reasons when you would see the quantity of an item that originally was accepted at one quantity, let's just say it's 100, you edit your order, and when that second acknowledgement comes back, now you see, oh, wait a minute, I only have 80. And so we don't want you to think that, somebody else got your 20 items, right? That's the concern that we have, that you may think that there was some type of processing error and somebody else in the meantime got those 20 items. That's not the case. it would more than likely be because of something that happened in an inventory, whether it's a consume by date that we maybe had wrong in the system, or a quality item, or honestly, to your point earlier, Martha, we had a mispick and somebody picked the wrong item and that happened to be the one that you had ordered. So, but it's not because there's a technical issue with the system, and it's not because your product was given, through the system to somebody else. So we're just trying to build confidence in you that you should have confidence in your ability to edit orders, to maintain the quantities that you originally had requested on your first order. But if there is a time when you may see a change to an order, it is more than likely due to something that truly happened in inventory, which is what resulted in that. So that's what some of the frequently asked questions addresses.
Yeah, I've noticed that it happens more often with milk and eggs than anything else.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. It's perishables.
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm good at messing up the mute and the unmute. So I do always make multiple orders just, to check availability that comes and goes hour by hour, as we know. So I do my first order exactly as I've always done it. I've got that. Now I'm ready for my second order. I pick out my items like I always have, and I'm at the last page, and I do hit complete order or submit order on that last page, correct or not?
So no, so if you've placed one order,
Yeah.
and then that one will be, you could look at that one in your order management. So if you see it in your order management, underneath that tab, here is where you'll see that, that
okay.
item. Oh,
And there I go to the pencil.
then you go to the
Okay,
pencil and
okay,
then you just
okay.
add to that order. But then once you've added that item to the order, you've made any of those adjustments, then you'll need to go just like normal. You'll need to complete update your cart and then make sure all of your adjustments are correct and you get that time to review. And then you would just put submit cart. And then it'll come back and say, are you sure you want to submit this order? The same thing. So it'll look pretty similar once you go through that process. It's just the getting to it with the pencil. Getting to that. Once you get to that, it'll look just like how you place your normal order, but it'll already have items in the shopping cart.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're doing this because this will make it easier on me rather than having 6 or 7 items and 6 or 7 invoices to keep track of. It makes it easier. I guess if I had a wish list, I would wish it would be a little bit more goof proof so that I could just go back in and complete an order, and it would know that for my agency number and my date that's added on to my order. But if the only extra step is to remember not to complete it, that the second or third or fourth time, I just have to remember not to complete it like I've always done in the past. I have to go back to order management, find it, hit the pencil, and then submit. Is that correct?
Right. Make all of your adjustments
Yeah.
and then submit.
I wonder if maybe, and again, this is great, just if somebody might scratch their head and think about making this even more goof proof for goofs like me in the field, if it was a little easier just to order and close it, as long as you're not changing the delivery date, that would be my preference. But what you're asking us to do, I'm sure it's one of those things that just, once you get used to it a few times,
Yeah.
we'll get there.
I think on this test screen here, because it doesn't have the pencil on here, then you're not able to see what the choices are at the top of the screen on that order. So when you hit the pencil, it brings your order up, and then toward on the right hand side, up close to the top, underneath where the weight and stuff is,
Mhm.
it gives you the choices to continue shopping. And
Mhm.
that's what you would want to do, is to hit continue shopping, then add all of your stuff, and then check out.
Right. So I think where a lot of people get where they don't get orders is because they don't click submit cart.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
don't submit your cart, it just is hanging out in this virtual space. And I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of people lose items, not because it wasn't available when you ordered it. It's maybe when you go back and to edit it that you absolutely make sure you put submit cart, because it'll just be hanging in this virtual space. And as agencies place their order, those orders get processed, even though yours was there. But it's just in that virtual space. So once you get used to the habit of the same thing, you're doing everything exactly the same. You're submitting the cart, adding adjustments, making those adjustments, adding it to the cart, submitting your cart, just like you would have done with the 5 ways that you ordered previously. The only thing has changed, you're clicking the pencil, making those adjustments, and then remembering to submit the cart. So you got it, Paul. I have faith in you, and I'm always available. I'm sure David's available, or your CPR rep is available to walk you through if you have any more questions. We've recorded this, so if you need to come back to it, you can. So we'll release it out, so anyone needs to be able to go back to it later, they can. But it really is much easier than what you think it might be. And we think at the end of the day, it's going to really just kind of give you some time back, be able to help you look through all of those multiple invoicing, and just make your life simplified with a single order. So that is going to be launched November 1st. So that'll be the go live date on that. So just if you have any questions, please feel free to either submit a help desk ticket or reach out to your CPR representative. I know we have about 2 minutes, so I just wanted to open up the floor if anybody else had any questions or comments. I am available to take those. I didn't see any questions come through.
We could, if we wanted to, we could do this same method now, right?
You could, I would say, just I would wait till the 1st, so we can, if there's anything else that needs to work out, but you could do it today. And if you have any questions or any concerns or something that may not work, well, just send us a service ticket to the help desk.
Not that I'm overly anxious, but
I like it, Paul. I like it.
yeah. I
Yes.
just, like I said, I like it. I'm sure I'll get used to it. It's just that my simple mind has to remember 2 different things now. We do the first order one way, we do subsequent orders another. Anytime something can be simplified as much as possible, I like it, but we'll give it a shot, and I think it will make life easier for all of us.
Perfect. Well, thank you all so much for being able to join us today. And we'll get this video submitted as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.